Lisa LaBelle, everyone.
Hello, world. Welcome to the L4 Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa LaBelle, the technology comedian. What's going on? What's up, you butt darts? Butt darts. You know who I'm talking about. The human beings that put their bicycles on the road. They put their bicycles on the road that the combustion engine and electric engine vehicles are on. And then so the bicycles are on the road and they're all crouched down, aerodynamic like. And then the drivers, us, all we see is your hindquarters and you're darting in and out of traffic and darting up and down the hills and all over the roads. And then that's why you're called a butt dart. And that's okay. Just accept it. It's great. I love it. It's great. So what's up, you butt darts? Just be careful out there. Stay safe. And you know what? This is the time that the butt darts are out. It's spring. It's beautiful out there. It's a beautiful day. And even if it's raining where you are, that's beautiful too, because that is Mother Earth's way of humbling our arshes. Peaches, our arshes. Because we can't just exist. We need the universe. We need Mother Earth to give us some rain for things to grow, food, things like that. And, you can't just walk around there and just exist and just not rely on anything. It's a harmony thing. And that's humbling. And it's good. It's a very good thing. And I just love it. So, the birds, they're chirping out there. They're having their little babies, their little birdie chicks. They have popped. They hatched. That's another word of saying it, hatching. But, I'm up here on the third level of the building. And I look outside and these birds, man, they look like they just fall out the sky like an airplane whose engine cut off. They just come darting down out of the sky. They're down bubble towards the ground. And it's like, are they going to be okay? I mean, we know they're going to be okay, but you go up high enough, you see some birds, they just look like they fall out the sky, whirly-birding it down towards Earth, just spiraling towards Earth like an airplane with its engine cut off. And you're like, oh my God. And you look outside and there's not all these dead birds on the ground. They figured it out. It's like Newton's first law of motion. An object in motion gains speed, or that's not Newton's first law of motion. So just don't take a note of, Newton's first law of motion, an object in motion stays in motion at the same speed in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced external force. But there is something going on. There is some Newtonian thing going on with those birds. But they're figuring it all out there. And you know what? You can figure it out too. We can figure it out. You figure life out. Let's get into it. Start this off. Here we go. Troubles. Since you came around. Think I'm gonna be That's Vividry, A Million Signs. And that's just, let's try to get over our troubles. Let's do that. I know that's way easier said than done. We'll find our way. We'll all find our way. And I'm giving you love and positivity out there. And I love each and every one of you guys that support me and listen to me. And I'm going to bring it to you. I'm going to show up, bring that entertainment value to you, and I'm going to work on it so I get better for you. Thank you guys. It was a good weekend. I hope you had a good past weekend. This last weekend, my husband and I, we on Saturday night. Now, sometimes we'll watch a movie or a show, but sometimes we'll listen to music. Yeah, we'll sit in our living room listening to our Macintosh stereo system. And Macintosh stereo system. Now, this piece looks like a piece out of the 1950s. It's not, but it looks like it was. It came from a point and place in a faraway time. A historical piece. Not quite an antique, but maybe. But that's what it looks like. So it really feels we're sitting in there, and I think, it's great. I just love it. And we listen to music, and when you are listening to music that an artist had made, and they put their heart and soul into it, and I'm talking like ego aside, that what they're doing is they're holding hands with their craft. That's it. It's just them and their craft. They're like making love to the craft. I don't know. That's a weird way of saying it. I don't like that. They're holding hands with it. Let's just say that. They're going through life with their craft. And you can really feel that through a Macintosh system. Now, my husband, he put on Eddie Vedder. And that was before my time. Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam. We're talking Pearl Jam here. And the only song I really knew by Pearl Jam was Last Kiss, and that was a remake. And the reason why I knew about that song is because my grandmother, that was her favorite song. The original was her favorite song. Oh my gosh, Lisa, that is such a sad song. If you know it, it is sad. Be bawling all over it like Clark in Christmas Vacation. What are you doing, Clark? You're going to bawl all over it? Yeah, I'm a bawl all over that song. Every time it plays, you have a song, you ever hear a song or have a song, when it comes on, your phone is shuffling through the songs and then it pops up and you're like, catch you off guard. You're going to start tearing up. Those crocodile tears, they start coming. Yeah, my grandma, she was born in a time where it was very hard. I got the 20s, the 30s, hard times. So, yeah, her favorite song, it was a sad song. And I think she found some comfort in it somehow. And Last Kiss, check it out, Eddie Vedder. So that's a song I know. And so my husband, he started playing an album by Eddie Vedder. And there was a song in there called Black. And I think, Eddie Vedder, man, wow, what a talented human being, man. He was holding hands with his craft. It was just him and his craft and his life. And that's what his life revolved around. And it might still revolve around that. I'm not sure. But you can feel it. And I think his thing was, I'm sure he was inspired by musicians. But he made his own thing. He created his own thing in his mind. And one of the things he does, I notice, is he'll start singing a song like Black, and I turn to my husband, I say, what is he saying? What are the words coming out his mouth? And then you read the lyrics, you're like, oh yeah. That makes total sense. Like, yeah, of course he's saying that. I mean, what else would he be saying? Can't you hear it? I mean, come on now. It's very clear that is exactly what he's saying. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's like, and he puts this little like roll on the end of the lyrics. Hear the word together on the seas of glory. Her legs be happy for me. I would play it, but I think I'm gonna, let's see. I wonder if YouTube might kick me out a bit. Let me see. Empty canvas on the sheet of clay. There is bread before me, like everybody wanted. Elevator. We had such a great time Saturday night, just listening to music all night. I mean, till it was late. And it was great. Late and great. Hey, shout out to my husband. I got to give my husband a big shout out here. He is such a hard worker. You know, I don't think people realize, people in leadership roles, VP, CEO, what have you, executive, you are in a creative role. You are solving problems. You're in a maze. Every day, you're just trying to figure out how to move walls, how to create things from a thing that's like 1,000 miles away, theoretically speaking. You know, you're creating, you're building. It's a art. You have to be an artist. And a lot of people in those positions are some sorts of artists. They have some skill of artistry to them, because that's what it takes. It takes that creative. You got to have an open mind. You can't be very dogmatic. I mean, you have to be dogmatic about some things, but you also have to be open-minded. And it's definitely a creative role. The C-suite executives, VPs, CEOs, CFOs. Yeah, even a job like finance. You just got to be creative with a whole lot of things. So shout out to my husband. He's been working real hard. We met several years ago on Instagram. Did everybody hear that? That was the poster falling off the wall behind me. Usually my husband puts things up for me on the walls, but as you can tell, I just tape them up. And that didn't work out very well. So, bear with me. I'm going to stick it back up, literally. All right. How are we looking? All right, stuck it up. I don't think that's going to stay. Oh no, I need my husband to put a poster on the wall for me. I don't like nails, and I don't like hammers. So, yeah, my husband, we met on Instagram, and we weren't looking for, like, we weren't using Instagram as a dating platform, but we connected through a mutual interest of ours. And that would be machines with the flat 6 4.0 liter engine, naturally aspirated. Those machines on the road and on the race tracks. Because those machines, man, Those flat six 4.0 naturally aspirated engines, they see a turn and they get excited. They coming up to a curve. They love those curves, man. Those machines, they got great quarter hinds and they love those curves. And they get excited. They coming up on a curve. They're nimble. And they get excited. They're gonna impregnate that curve. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's how we met several years ago. I can hear that tape behind me just slowly peeling off that wall and that poster. So get ready for another. That's what you'll hear. All right, we got a lot to go over here today in the world of tech, so let's get on into it. I'm building myself a custom GPT, and that would be a generative pre-trained transformer. That's artificial intelligence for those of you out there who aren't familiar with it. Now, I would encourage anyone who is working or trying to organize their life, you should go on and build yourself a custom GPT. But, I've seen that this really benefits teachers. The teaching world. There's a professor who he built a custom GPT as a tutor, sort of like a tutor for his students. You just put all the coursework into it. You give it prompts. It's like your own personal assistant. It's incredible. And so you give it prompts, load all your course materials in it, and you can make it a course tutor. And then you can call upon other GPTs by using the @ command. So you load your material in it, and then you make another, hey, sort through this material. You make another GPT. You say, hey, organize this material in a certain fashion, however you want it. And then they can talk to each other. And I might not be 100% about that, but that's kind of the bird's eye view idea of it. You can call upon other GPTs with the @ command, and I think that's pretty cool. That's a new function that OpenAI has created. Now, GPT is specific to OpenAI, meaning custom GPTs. Generative pre-trained models, generative pre-trained transformers are not specific to OpenAI, but they definitely, OpenAI, it is tied to it. It certainly is. They sort of started the whole ordeal of it. And for those of you out there, for those human beings, guys, girls, ladies, men, who you are curious about AI, but you don't, you're a bird. You're just flying around. You're up there. You're flying around. You just want to get a quick peek. You don't want to go down into the weed, you don't want to land. You don't really want to land and see all of the details of everything, but you're just trying to get a view and see a little bit about what's going on with it. So I will help you out with that today. I'm going to explain. We're going to go on what a GPT. Now, what I'm going to explain is how these large language models are trained. And a question that pops up is, hey, what's the diff? I'm going to use that word. It's like really like making someone's hair on the back of their neck stand up. Diff. What's the diff? What's the difference between Grok, xAI's Grok, and ChatGPT? They're both large language models. Right? So that might be a question that pops up. You might want to know that. And let me just be clear here. All of the major large language models, we're talking xAI's Grok, ChatGPT, OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, Gemini has BERT, Google, back up. Google has BERT and Gemini. And Meta has Llama. All of these large language models are pre-trained. The first phase of training these large language models, all of them are trained with a transformer and a pre-trained transformer that is unsupervised learning. So that's where all of them have something in common. So the model in pre-training, that's the first phase of all large language models, okay? The first phase of all large language models, and I'm talking ChatGPT, xAI's Grok, Claude and Anthropic's Claude, Google's BERT and Gemini, Meta's Llama. The first phase of training all of these large language models is pre-training. And that's where the model learns general language patterns, grammar, knowledge by processing a massive data set of text. And that's from the internet, that's from social media, that's from, you name it. You got MIT has open courseware, which is, you can load that all into the element. Anything that is on the internet and medical journals. So they load all that in there. And pre-training is always unsupervised. They just let it learn, suck all the information into your brain like a fire hose. They just glug, 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 night and day. They're just all the information going in there. And then the second phase. Now this is where these large language models differ. What's the difference between ChatGPT and Grok? The difference is the second phase, which is the fine tuning. So, for example, ChatGPT and the fine tuning, that is the company saying, what do we want our large language model to do? What is our mission? What is our end goal? Whatever. So ChatGPT is fine-tuned with reinforcement learning with human feedback. And that means that it's ChatGPT is it's refined to be more helpful, conversational, aligned with specific goals. So ChatGPT, after the pre-training, human evaluators rate ChatGPT's answers or their responses, and the model learns to optimize for responses that humans prefer. So let me give you an example. So if ChatGPT, you ask it, what's a funny tech fail? What's a funny tech failure from the early 2000s? And a human evaluator prefers that. Let me back up. For example, if ChatGPT gives two answers to what is a funny tech failure in the early 2000s, and a human evaluator prefers Clippy over a less interesting example, then ChatGPT gets rewarded for the Clippy answer and adjusts to prioritize similar responses in the future. So a lot of human input here. And that could be a potential problem because there's a lot of bias going on. The humans themselves and the evaluators, the evaluators are people with perspectives, cultural backgrounds, preferences. That's all fine and great, but it is a lot of bias without a lot of logical or critical thinking from the information that they were fed from the pre-training. So the instructions given to the evaluators, there's guidelines on what makes a good response. For ChatGPT, this is what I'm talking about. We're talking about the second phase of ChatGPT and why this is different than, say, Grok. So OpenAI gives evaluators guidelines on what makes a good response. But those guidelines themselves can reflect OpenAI's priorities or biases. For instance, if OpenAI emphasizes safety too much, then ChatGPT might become overly cautious and avoid edgy humor. And that's why ChatGPT is bad at humor, y'all. It's not happening. It's just not happening today. It's because they're prioritizing safe, generic responses over sharp, witty, edgy humor. And this is different. If Grok is much better at comedy than ChatGPT because of this. Now, Grok's fine-tuning phase does not involve human feedback. It's just reinforcement learning. It's Grok's fine-tuning focuses on logic. Logic, reasoning, factual accuracy, critical thinking, rather than optimizing for human preference. And I prefer that. I like Grok's responses to what I use it for. It's just extremely logical, and it's not pandering. ChatGPT seems a little pandering. But of course, I think ChatGPT makes better images. ChatGPT is incredible at understanding vague instructions. It's pretty mind-blowing how incredible it is. And you can misspell words on ChatGPT, and it's like, one day I think ChatGPT is going to wake up and be like, someone's going to type something. It's going to be all jumbled, not thought out, just words misspelled. And ChatGPT is going to come back with, "Do I look like I speak complete moron?" All right, everyone, we're back up and running here. Sorry about that. Thank you for bearing with me on these technical difficulties. I got my poster falling off the wall in back of me and my camera falling apart in front of me. So just trying to get that all situated. And thanks for bearing with me and having patience. And I appreciate you for sticking with me throughout this process. It's a learning process, producing this podcast, this journey. So thanks for sticking with me. Much love out to you guys. So let's get back to it. Let's get back into it. So we're talking about, and I'm not sure if you learned anything from that last part. I was talking about generative pre-trained transformers, large language models, and the differences between the most popular ones. So I hope you probably didn't learn anything. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I hope something made sense to you and you can get something out of it. So I'm just going to move on. Meta's LlamaCon happened last Tuesday, the 29th. That was Mark Zuckerberg, Meta's first ever AI developer conference. And Mark Zuckerberg put this on with Microsoft chairman and CEO Satya Nadella. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Satya, Satya. So you can go ahead and pronounce that correctly in your head, everyone out there. So they discussed the future of AI development, emphasizing the increasing role of AI in software creation. And at this conference, Satya, that is Microsoft CEO, Microsoft CEO and Chairman Satya Nadella noted that 20 to 30% of Microsoft's code is now generated by AI. And Mark Zuckerberg, he predicted that AI will handle half of Meta software development within a year. So that's pretty wild. And I would like to encourage anyone out there who's going to college right now for software development or computer science, anything like that, to really think about your future and how AI and automation is going to change the landscape of it. Because the skills you're going to want to obtain, you're going to want to get into a job that you can have until retirement. So 40, 50 years, you got to think about that. And anyone who is not in that place in your mid-career, just start thinking about how AI and automation is shaping your industry and your particular role in that industry and start making choices and decisions that you think are correct. Maybe change paths, change course. I'm not saying change paths completely, but maybe do a little tweak here, do a little tweak there, do a little bit of reading up, and then do that, and then give it to the Lord, move on with your life. That's what I would say. Hopefully there will be a robot tax and an automation AI tax imposed on these corporations that are replacing humans. Like all these software developers are going to be out of job. A lot of them are out of a job already, especially at Meta and Microsoft. So, hopefully there's going to be some sort of tax incurred on these corporations so that all of the people being displaced, we're gonna need to be able to handle it. Is it gonna be like a Star Trek situation where everyone is handled, everyone has a roof over their head and things like that, and meaning like roof and food, and everyone's fine, and then they just decide on what they want to do with their life according to what they actually want to do with their life, like what they're interested in, what they want to build or whatever. Maybe that'd be great. Probably not, but that'd be great. So that was LlamaCon last Tuesday. That's what was going on there. Now coming up, there's Meta Connect in September 2025. Put it on your calendar, folks. I know you're getting so excited about that. And now Meta Llama, let me tell you about something here. Now Llama is a large language model, and it's trained it's a pre-trained approach, which is unsupervised learning and mostly not fine-tuned. Now, there are versions of Llama 2 that are fine-tuned with reinforcement learning with human feedback, but I think mostly it's not. Mostly it's just kind of like a raw model that you can get, and then you can turn it into whatever you want to turn it into for whatever purposes your business needs or whatever purposes you're using it for. And now we got Morgan Stanley predictions about robotics. That would be Morgan Stanley forecast a 4.7 trillion global annual humanoid robot revenue by 2050, with roughly 1 billion units cumulatively deployed. 4.7 trillion by 2050. Now that sounds a little bearish to me. That sounds they're a little lowballing it. Down bubble, bearish, lowball. That's what I call that. People didn't predict the internet when that happened. This might be kind of the same situation. It might be the same sitch. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just my hunch. I'm going by this hunch that the universe has given me. And just also by my research. Mostly. I do a lot of research. Really go down a lot of rabbit holes. And there's a lot of robotics going on. There's a lot of And I mean, I'm not talking just humanoids. I mean, China alone, they got a lot going on with robots and humanoids, and the United States does too. I don't think as much because we have a lot of red tape, and I'm not sure. I have a feeling that some sort of regulation is going to be coming up around on these humanoids, but hopefully not too bad so that we can innovate. Let the engineers do what they want to. Let the engineers do what their brains are creating, man. Let's create amazing stuff. Come on. Get rid of the red tape. But what I'm saying is robot. So not just humanoid robots is what I'm talking. I'm saying 3D printed housing. That's a robot. You got gantry style robot. And I'm talking about Icon, the company Icon. Now I've been following Icon since 2019. And that was around the time when I was going to get my master's in aerospace engineering. I was slated to do it, all set to go. Had my courses picked out and everything. And I was doing a lot of research at the time. Then I decided to do comedy, and I know my dad's proud of me for it. So my dad's great. I love him. My dad's an engineer. My brother's an engineer. I was going to go be an engineer. I'm like, let me do this comedy thing. And let me talk about it in a comedic sense. Anyway, so I've been following Icon since 2018 because aerospace engineering. Was interested in space exploration. So I was doing a lot of research in NASA. Came across a NASA Habitat for Humanity competition, 3D printed competition. And it was open to the public basically. And Icon was one of the companies that participated. They won second place. And now they're out there in Austin, Texas, printing whole communities. That's a robot. So, I mean, there's a lot of robots going on. And not just the bipedal ones standing up on two legs like human beings. And that prediction that Morgan Stanley is making, I think, yeah, it's just a little lowballer bear. And the critics, that's what they're saying. Critics on X argue the forecast underestimates growth as robotics could tie to 40% of GDP by 2050, 50 trillion, especially with generative AI and labor shortages accelerating adoption faster than autonomous vehicles. And that is indicated, the Morgan Stanley article, who forecasted the 4.7 trillion, indicates that Adam Jonas and Ed Stanley are the primary analysts associated with this research. So they're a little lowballer. That's what I think. But what do I know? Nothing. What do I know? What does anybody know? Let's not be dogmatic, but I'm just saying. I agree with the critics. So now James Gorman, I wonder what he would say. James Gorman, he was the CEO and chairman of Morgan Stanley back when I worked there several years ago. And he kept that thing as a well-oiled machine. He kept the wheels on that puppy. If Morgan Stanley, back when James Gorman was running it, was a car, it'd be a 911 Carrera Safari with braid wheels. And that's really niche. I'm sorry about that. Does that even make sense? I don't know. Anyway, he stepped down. James Gorman stepped away from the CEO position in 2023. He remained, and then he stepped away from the chairman position in January of 2025. And now he's chairman emeritus. I didn't pronounce that right. I'm gonna spell it so you can pronounce it right in your head. Emeritus. Emeritus. So James Gorman became chairman emeritus in January 2025. And that basically means he is a mentor for Morgan Stanley now. And now, I just would be curious about what his predictions about this, global annual humanoid robot revenue by 2050 is. So, James Gorman now, he had a riff last year. He had a riff about how he felt that the older generation was really letting down the younger generation. And he was riffing about work from home. And now work from home, I think there's good things to it, but I think there's also bad things to it. If you're a youth, if you're a young professional starting off in your career and you're really interested in your career, you're going to want a mentor. You're looking for people to help you, to guide you, to hear about their experiences and their insights so you can learn. But now the youths, they go to the office, they're walking down the hall, and it's empty. It's dark, there's cobwebs, there's skeletons in the corner, there's an old Christmas tree up that was never put down. They just put it up 5 years ago, never took it down. All the doors are closed, there's echoes, it's just silence. When I went to work in public relations, this is a long time ago, after college, I wanted a mentor. I loved what I was doing, and I wanted a mentor. And there was someone there who was my boss, and she was really nice. She helped me a little bit, but I was looking for someone who would really guide me. No one wanted to be and my peers, they're like, hey, who can help us? No one. Everyone had their own lives. They were too busy with this or that. You know, and then now they're thinking about retirement, and they're the people that they could have mentored. Now those people are in leadership roles. And now the people who could have been mentors, they're going towards retirement. They're complaining how the companies are, and they never even helped out. No, I'm not too spun up about it. I'm just saying it's something to think about. And James Gorman, he was spun up about it. He was real spun up about this. And I think, like I said, what do I know? What do I know? But I came across the thing that he was saying, that the older generation was letting the younger generation down. I felt that even back then. And, you Gen X and millennials, you got to step it up. Come on, let's go. You want life to be good for your kids when your kids are going out to get a job. You need to start mentoring the people who are going to be their bosses. And I'm just like over here preaching. But I think it's just about showing the younger generation you care. And, some of them are little brats, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are great. A lot of them really just want to learn, make the world better, make the company better, make themselves better, make you better, help. They want to help you. They want to help them. It's a harmony thing. So just give a few minutes to someone who has been asking you for some insights lately, and that'll be great. That'll be good. Moving on. We have, we got a robot. Now there's a viral video going around of this robot, a humanoid who is attached to a crane, and he is gone haywire. I'm going to pull this video up, and I'm going to attach this video. Up here. On the sheet of glass. Okay, pulled up this video. Okay, so we got this engineer and another engineer, maybe his peer. You got a humanoid hanging on a crane. And the engineer, he's doing something at his computer. And then he looks over at the robot. He gave it a command of sorts. He looks over at the robot. He's waiting. The robot's arms go up and they start moving, and then they start flailing. This engineer, he's Asian. And his buddy, he's Asian too. Now this robot, you can't tell if it's Asian. But it's somewhere over there. It's in an Asian continent. And the robot goes berserk. And now there's a lot of speculation on, some people are saying it's Unitree's H1, but who knows? And it could be, people are making jokes that this dude, vibe coded it. Now, vibe coding. What is vibe coding? Vibe coding is basically, it's a reliance on AI. It's someone who doesn't know what they're doing, basically. Someone who doesn't know how to code. You just tell the AI what you want the program to do. The AI but the problem is the programmer provides a high-level description. Here it is. The programmer provides a high-level description. So, for example, decrease the padding on the sidebar by half, and the AI generates the corresponding code. It's minimal oversight in its purest form. Vibe coding involves accepting the AI-generated code without thoroughly reviewing or understanding it. It's forgetting that the code even exists and embraces the vibes of rapid experimentation. It allows non-experts or amateur programmers to create software without deep technical knowledge. And you could build a small app. There's a small app called Lunchbox Buddy. And you could build, this. It's good for building little things like that. But if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to debug something, you don't know if there's a problem in the code, then there's a problem. And something like that, robot flailing arms, could happen. Now, it's speculation. It's not, no one really knows what this programmer was doing. He could have been highly skilled. I mean, this is bound to happen. Your robot's going to flail. It's bound to happen. Because, it's the same concept of building a rocket going to Mars. Look at SpaceX. A lot of those rockets blew up. A lot of these robots are going to flail. And just my perspective on it, going back to the vibe coding, you could put for example, you could provide a vague prompt like make the robot move its arms and then deploy the AI generated code without thoroughly reviewing it, testing it, or validating it. The result could be that the robot goes haywire, and it could be comedic. And I think whoever put me together, the universe, God, whoever put me together, they vibe coded me. I think that's because sometimes you get a twitch at night. You'll go, you just twitch, and it's like, oh, let's vibe code Lisa, and then you tell Lisa vibe code, hey Lisa, craft a good joke, do it, and then I craft a good joke, but then. The problem is the code isn't validated. There's a twitch in the code. And now at night, I twitch. Just once a year or maybe twice a year. And I think I was vibe coded. And that's okay. That's fine. It's okay. We're moving along. It's great. We're moving along. So this dude hanging on the crane, this robot, speculative vibe coding, that's a joke. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's what was going on there. And I'm not even sure if it's Unitree. But it is a couple Asians. And I'm just wondering, this arm flailing, it really kind of flails its arms. Looks like it's about to punch a guy out. I'm just wondering, how much force does a robot need to punch an Asian out? Is it the same force that to punch any other human being out? It wouldn't take a lot to punch me out, but I'm fast. I'm down bubble. I'm focused. As soon as that arm come up, I go down bubble. Boop, on the floor. So, but how much force does that arm need to punch a specific person out? That's all I'm saying. And so where's that answer? We'll see. I'm sure we'll see. it. It'll pop up. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. My camera is just giving me some problems. So thank you for bearing with me. All right, back to, we're talking about the viral robot video going around with flailing arms. We were talking about that. We're going to get off of that. They'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Now, Unitree, speaking of Unitree, they're growing like a tree, pun intended. Sheets of empty canvas on the sheets of clay. Let's build every army like a better one did. Thank you, Eddie Vedder. Thank you. Need a little bit of that. A little bit. Spice it up. That's a spicy song. Unitree Robotics is growing. They have opened a new 107,000 square foot factory just 15 minutes from its headquarters. And I'm not going to be able to pronounce this province. The headquarters is in eastern Zhejiang province. And I'll spell it for you so you can pronounce it correctly in your head. Or if you want to pronounce it correctly out loud, Zhejiang. The facility is expected to support the company's expansion over the next 3 to 5 years. And that's pretty impressive. Let's see. Let's take a look at this facility. Well, there's no real video with it, but it does show Unitree Robotics bending backwards. Look at that gate. The Unitree Robotics is the G1 model is impressive. I'll pop this video up. There's a video of Unitree G1 skipping down steps, but it's literally skipping steps in Crocs. It's skipping steps in Crocs. I mean, that is full commitment right there. It's committing to the bit. I'll pop that video up. I mean, it's pretty wild. Here we go. We're going to watch the video. I'm going to put my Hans device on because, woo, here we go. Get ready. Here we go. I'm going to look at the video now, and it's going down the steps. It's skipping steps. It's going on a step with the back of its Croc heel. Holy Lord. And it's just like so nonchalant. If a human being were to do that, they fall flat on their face. They break their face. They break their face. They break their hands. Whatever was in front of them. But this dude, he got it. He hit the edge of that step. Oh, it looks like he's walking on a cloud. Like he got to the steps. And then he got a little cloud, like in a video game. He got this little this little pallet that is floating in the air, and it just takes him on down the steps. That's what it kind of looks like. God, look at those Crocs. Gotta get myself a pair of Crocs. Get and skip down those steps. Woo! Oh. I think that last step there, but my hip hurts just looking at that. Yikes. So he's going bing, bing, grr, bing, 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 boosh. Just landed like flat on his foot. Landed flat on his foot on the one leg and a little hard because he skipped the one step before it. So I felt that. God. That's incredible. I mean, look at that gate. These gates, they're getting pretty sophisticated. I mean, there's no stopping these machines. The robots have sprung or spawned. I think some of them sprang, and some of them have spawned. We'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell which one spawned and which one sprung. They're getting real agile, though. These robots out there, they're gates. Now, remember the gate. A gate is, a human gate is very smooth. Well, it's supposed to be. But a lot of people don't have smooth gates anymore. And these robots, the smoother they get, I'm talking walking, just a movement, just a nice, smooth, fluid movement. And not a lot of humans have that anymore. They're all stiff and crooked. And these robots, they're really pointing that out. Now they're getting better than us. And I think the ladies are noticing. You see a robot, walking down the street. Here's the thing, in robotics, especially for humanoid robots, a gait is a coordinated sequence of joint movements that allows the robot to move forward, maintain balance, and adapt to different terrains. That DOF, that degrees of freedom. Over 200 degrees of freedom. Not DTF, but you gotta have good DOF to have good DTF. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We gotta step it up, humans. Come on. Humans, you gotta step up your degrees of freedom. Because the robots, they're about to win that. They're about to win that game. And the ladies, they're noticing. You got a robot walking smooth on the street. It's walking smooth. There's a little rhythm in its hips. It has thoughts in its head. And it's walking real nice. Ladies are noticing. There's a lady about to pass up a human walking all crooked and stiff. What kind of rhythm is that? The crooked and stiff movement. If you can, I'm talking a healthy human being who's just not stretching or doing anything to help themselves. And then now you got a crooked gait. And now you got your crooked gait. And then you got a robot walking past you with a beautiful gait. It's smooth. Those hips are butter. And the ladies on the street, they're noticing these smooth gaits. They're going to pass up that human man with his crooked gait for that humanoid with its smooth gait. Those ladies, they throwing their ovary at it. Take this. This guy ain't doing anything with it. You take this. I want my offspring gait to be smooth. You take this, make it smooth. That's what happened. That's what's going to happen. So go ahead, go out there, get a little more DOF, that degrees of freedom. Go ahead, get yourself some more of that. All right, let's step it up, human beings. Let's go. And you know what? I think on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I had such a great time with you guys. I will be traveling for my comedy show. And again, I am preparing to go out on tour. It's Lisa LaBelle, the technology comedian. The robots are coming. Are you ready? That's my tour name. Going to Reno. Where's Lisa? She in Reno. What's Lisa doing? She down, bubble. She focused. She in Reno at her show with her fans having fun. Come on out to my show, guys. And I want to know, all of you who are listening to my podcast, I want to hear from you. I want to know who you are. I'd love to see all your beautiful faces out there on my show too. And I will see you next week. Bye.